at New York Comic Con with Dinesh from Valiant Comics. So you guys booted back up in 2012. You've been around for a while, but you hit hard back in 2012. You're doing some really cool stuff right now.
Thanks,
what
man.
do you have going on?
We have a lot going on.
All right.
So we're a big shared universe, much like Marvel and DC.
The third biggest superhero universe in comics,
Third
right?
biggest superhero universe, but we're more modern. We were created in the 1990s, so we more accurately reflect, I guess you could say, current society. So our characters are more diverse, they're more modern, they're more morally ambiguous. We focus on storytelling. You know, when you're number two, you got to try harder. We don't have the big movies, we don't have the big licenses, so we don't have to worry about servicing them. We can just focus on telling the best story we can. So we've just focused on telling 8 or 9 great stories a month. We don't do a lot. We try to make the budget for the fan easy to consume, but we try and do everything we can, the best story we can. We've been very lucky, best read publisher in the business this year, last year, the year before that, and the year before that, 4 years running now. We're only 4 years old, so we haven't lost that.
Right.
This year's Harvey Awards, we have 20 nominations, most nominated publisher in the business.
Wow.
Last year we had the most nominated book in the industry. All the books, you can see them here, all of them top 10 winners, award winners. So people like the books, we're very lucky.
Very cool. Well, now let's talk about some specific characters. So Bloodshot, real big. He's one of my personal favorites. So let's talk about Bloodshot. What's going on with him right now and ever since, 2012?
So Jeff Lemire's writing Bloodshot right now. Bloodshot is a character. He's a soldier. He died in action. They brought him back to life by pumping his body full of nanotechnology. That gave him full control of his physiology. So he can run faster, he can heal, he can interface with technology. But they saved the hard drive without saving the data. Doesn't have his memories. Doesn't know who he is, so it's very Total Recall. It's like 3 Schwarzenegger films. It's like Total Recall meets Terminator meets like Commando or Predator. It's awesome.
The best amalgamation of all the Schwarzenegger films.
And it's an intense action book. So right now, Jeff Lemire's writing it. We've got these incredible artists on it: Miko Soyan, Butch Geis, Luis LaRosa. We've been working on this book 2 years ahead of schedule. No one has ever in comics, I think, worked that far ahead. And we do that because we want the art to be beautiful, because Jeff's telling such an amazing story. His story really is a commentary on violence in our society. It's one of the best books, I think, on the industry, in the market right now. I highly recommend you check it out.
Very cool. I love what's going on with Bloodshot right now. But Exo Man of War, what's going on with him?
So Exo Man of War, it's our longest running title. It's really our flagship in many ways. What we try and do at Valiant is we try and tell stories about, we try and have you look at the book and say, I can't believe they made that guy a hero. So Exo Man of War, Auric of Dacia, fits that mold. He's a Visigoth in the 4th century, fought the Romans, abducted by aliens, held aboard their ship as a prisoner, traveling fast and light. His only chance to escape is to steal their ultimate weapon, this sentient suit of armor, the most powerful armor in existence. He steals it, returns to Earth, only to find that because he was traveling fast and light, he's now in the modern day. So imagine the most primitive man on the planet, the most advanced technology in existence in the suit, and he's just triggered the invasion of Earth. Huge sci-fi epic.
Yes.
Awesome book.
So anyone who's a fan of sci-fi or just cool action, this is definitely one to check out.
This is the one.
All right, now Ninjak. I love ninjas. And superheroes. So when you put the two together, I'm a very happy man. So Ninjak, what's going on?
So Ninjak is a great example of how diverse our universe is. We tell stories. You can see Bloodshot. It's a very action-driven book. Exo Man of War, sci-fi epic adventure. Ninjak is an espionage. He's really James Bond if James Bond was kind of an asshole. Can I say asshole on your show?
You can say it,
Is that a YouTube thing?
It's YouTube friendly.
Okay, so he's kind of an asshole. He's more than kind of an asshole, but also he's got ninja training. So the book is about Ninjak. We see him in, now Matt Kint's the writer. Matt Kint writes these amazing complex narratives. The book takes place over 3 timelines. The modern day timeline is the core of the book. And we see Ninjak, one of the 7 most highly trained in ninjutsu, hunting the other 6. Bringing them into MI6. We also see Ninjak's first mission at the back of the book with his handler, Jillian Alcott. She's not in the present day sequence, so we don't know what's happened to her. But they seem to have a relationship in his first mission. Perhaps love, perhaps romance, perhaps just lust.
We don't know.
We also see a sequence where Ninjak is a child, and he's growing up in this very Batman-like environment. His parents are away all the time. We don't know what they're up to. He's got a butler who's bringing him up, but the butler is this brutal, abusive figure, training him to be a man, but in the worst way. So Ninjak is this incredibly talented, trained figure who is really lashing out of the world at being a dick because he's got this internal emotional problem. And then ninjas and supernatural, and he goes into the afterlife and fights demons. Awesome.
Cool. Now, Book of Death. It's like the biggest thing, you kind of got going on right now. You have a huge universe. So what's going on with Book of Death and all your characters and how they're all fitting in?
So I'm very proud of Book of Death. I'm very proud of our events. We do one every year so far. I mean, the story has to compel us to get there, and every year we've done one. Did Harbinger Wars, which we're doing as a film at Sony now. We did Armor Hunters, and now we're doing Book of Death. Harbinger Wars, Armor Hunters were the best reviewed event of that year. Book of Death, again, is the best reviewed book best reviewed event this year. This is a story in which someone comes back from the future with a history book, a history book of our future, the histories of all the characters, futures of them going forward. So we see the entire Valiant Universe want to find this book. They're all chasing this figure. Gilad, the Eternal Warrior, one of our big characters, is protecting her, the woman with the book.
Right.
Then we do these offshoots where we show the fall of our characters, the fall of War, the fall of Bloodshot, the fall of Ninjak, where we show the eventual death of these characters, and we jump sometimes 100 years in the future. The Valiant Universe has changed, new characters appear, new events appear, they talk about things that have happened that we have no idea about, or at least the reader doesn't have any idea about.
Right.
We work so far ahead, we know where we're going in a very malleable way. So we have all these ideas that we're teasing out. It's fun in that Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko kind of pure creationist point of view storytelling.
Very cool. Now you guys are making a big hit in the comic book world right now, so what can we expect in the future?
In the future, we like to look at the next stories as the best stories we've got coming. So we announced a book called Faith about one of our characters in Harbinger. She's this awesome, fun superhero, female superhero. What's great about her is she's overweight, but she doesn't care about that. It's not even part of the book. She just loves being a superhero because she grew up loving Doctor Who, loving comic books, so she's just having a lot of fun. That's been a huge hit for us. We've got Dr. Mirage, which we did as a mini-series last year as a love story. Amazing love story. This woman has to go into the afterlife to bring her husband's soul back in a Tolkien-esque journey. That did amazing for us. We're doing a sequel to that. We've got a character named Divinity. He's a black communist cosmonaut from the 60s who goes out into the cosmos, meets an entity that gives him the power of a god. We still got the mind of a human, comes back, and things get pretty interesting. We got a sequel to that coming up where he finds his antagonist and he fights him. We've got Archon Armstrong, which is a buddy duo. Imagine Highlander or Dracula, but instead of being British accented ponytailed art collector, he's exactly what would happen to you and me. He just likes to get drunk, likes to find a party, likes to find women. He's 7,000 years old and he's got this buddy who wants to save the world. This guy is the most idealist character you meet. The most worldly man is his partner, and they got up to all sorts of conspiracy hijinks.
Very cool. Well, Valiant Comics, Dinesh, check it out. They're doing some awesome stories right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.